4 a.m. across 21 cities. Doors blow, rotors hammer, radios burn. You clicked for the biggest anti-cartel strike in decades. This is it. DHS, FBI, DEA, and Homeland Security moved like one unit to choke a nationwide logistics web centered on Chicago. What does it take to hit 22 field divisions at the same second and bag over 5,000 arrests with 4 tons of fentanyl off the street? Stay here. We'll map the playbook, the timing windows, and the command nodes that cracked so you can judge the tactics that made it possible. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. If one city drifts 90 seconds, couriers get a warning. Phones go dark. Cash burns. That's why every door hits at the same minute, because desync turns a clean intercept into a chase you can't win.
Chicago is part of the growing market for potentially fatal counterfeit drugs. The Drug Enforcement Administration says Chicago is seeing rising sales of prescription pills that actually contain fentanyl.
In 2019, that level raised to about 25%. And in 2020, about 40% or more of the counterfeit pills that DEA seizes contain a potentially lethal dose.
There were 912 overdose deaths from synthetic opioids in Chicago last year and nearly 1,400 in Cook County. The DEA says this is affecting both addicts and recreational drug users.
So we're very worried for American families, Chicago families and their children.
The command spine runs top to bottom. A national task force cell sets the master clock. Regional nodes translate that plan into lane assignments. City assault leaders run the stacks and ride a hardened comms plan that survives cell dead zones, bad weather, and jammed nets. One spine, many arms. Inside that spine, priorities pull in different directions. Intel wants one more day to watch the pattern. Operators want to move before sunrise traffic and before the phones start hopping. Prosecutors need chain of custody that will stand up in court. Delay one link and the network senses heat and scatters. Timing windows solve the fight. Warrants hit synchronized. Briefings land with no notice to stop leaks. Step-off times stagger by seconds so radios don't collide and airspace stays clean. Each team has a green light, a hold line, and a kill switch if the neighbor's door hasn't gone yet. Chicago is the primary node. Stash houses and the people who keep encrypted ledgers have to go first so couriers can't dump devices or torch cache rooms. One squad pins the ledger keeper. Another team rolls the cache site. A third team snaps the courier line before sunrise calls Ripple. Interagency deconfliction keeps blue off blue. Shared portals and call-out protocols flag targets so HSI, FBI, DEA, and local SWAT don't stack on the same address or drive through each other's breach lanes.
We turn now to the fight against the growing fentanyl crisis. The Drug Enforcement Agency is sounding the alarm.
Fentanyl is killing people at record numbers.
For the past few years, the Reverend Robin Hood has been trying to end the drug problem that is impacting his West Side community.
Fentanyl is an opioid that's 30 times more potent than heroin and can be deadly in tiny doses.
We watched them go through their addiction, their shakes, they're just close to death.
Fentanyl is a very powerful, potent synthetic drug that is driving the overdose drug death crisis in the United States.
Above it, helicopters hold overwatch, deny roof runs with fast rope blocks, and keep medevac ready. Pilots fly a clock tied to ground step-offs, holding orbits so they're on station at breach minus 30, not late, not early. Logistics moves in parallel. Transport vans stage out-of-sight lines. Mobile evidence teams bag, tag, and scan. Bilingual interview cells split subjects fast. Digital forensics units image devices within minutes, locking the trail. The strike lands. Thousands bagged. For tons of fentanyl equivalents seized before nodes could shred, wipe, or exfiltrate. Doors are down. Now the fight shifts to the war supply chain that feeds Chicago and the East Coast. If the pills are the bullet, where's the factory, the powder, and the banker? You hit the face, the raid goes after the spine. The surge targeted each layer that feeds the round: chemicals, presses, shipping lanes, and the money stack that hides in clean suits. Cartels operate as two-headed threats. One head is violence. The other is a multinational machine that moves cash through fronts, masks it in crypto layers, and sinks it into real estate. That blend buys reach and time. Street crews swap out. The flow doesn't stop if precursors sail, labs cook, and money launders. Break one node and the system routes around it. You need to crack the backbone, not just the hands. Phase 1 started at pill mills in the Southwest. Counterfeit oxy tablets cut with fentanyl were the product line. Teams hit presses, binders, and the custom dyes that stamp a trust mark consumers think they know. Taking the tools kills output before sunrise. Phase 2 widened to cargo lanes and roads that feed the interior. Interdictions at major ports pulled containers tagged as industrial cleaners and found precursor loads. On I-10, tractor-trailers rolled into stops that bled both chemicals and weapons from the pipeline. Waterfront real estate fronts lost cover as seizures tied assets to shadow networks. Chicago is the mid-continent hub that feeds East Coast demand. The takedowns hit stash hubs, dispatcher phones, and courier lines linking Houston and Chicago to Atlantic corridors. Cut the dispatcher and driver stall. Cut the stash hub and downstream markets run dry. Corruption acts like an open valve. Internal Affairs and Inspector General cells rode with the surge to close leaks at borders and local posts. The fix wasn't optional. It was the guardrail. Legal posture matters. Classifying Sinaloa and CJNG as FTOs unlocked wider intel sharing and limited DoD support, shifting the fight from pure narcotics to a dispersed insurgency model. The payoff lands here: disrupt precursors, lab inputs, encrypted ledgers, and laundering fronts, and you don't just grab product, you fracture command and control and slow the rebuild cycle. Tactical wins count, but endurance rides on integrity at the gates and inside the rooms where the next manifest is cleared. A synchronized raid is a weapon, but it's strategy, integrity, and network mapping that keeps the tap closed. You hold the line with clean agents, live audits, and a map that shows where the money, chemicals, and phones will try to reappear next. Corruption is a breach, not a rumor. The fix is constant checks, tight access, and outside eyes. The human cost stays high. The mission can't drift. Comment your choice below. $1 to harden the shield. Intel Fusion, Port Inspection Tech, or Internal Affairs. If you want to understand the tactical mindset that wins these battles, subscribe now. The next fight is on the calendar. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict.